Why do a lot of creatives put more time into their jobs instead of their artistic careers? Well, in a nutshell, it's pretty easy to answer. In a nutshell, it's because jobs tend to pay with real currency. You know that you're going to get paid every month, every 2 weeks, bi-weekly or whatever. And this isn't to diminish an art career, but an art career, you may work the exact same way and not get paid. And there's a lot of people that say things like, money's not everything. Well, it's not everything if your bills are paid. It's not everything if, your way of life has been addressed and you're doing okay. Money's not everything, but money is the foundation for you to be able to have the time that you want to do those things that your heart really is into. Now, here's the thing. I've been doing art for quite a while, and some of my endeavors are, they've been successful. Other ones have been complete and utter dumpster fires. But the one thing that I find holds true is it is very difficult to get people to invest in you as an artist so that you can have that monetary security that you have in a day job. Like for instance, if you're offering something for $4,000, a lot of people and so-called supporters that say they love what you do, they will ask if you could charge less. If your asking price for your product is maybe, I don't know, $1,000, then it's too expensive. If your asking price is $500, then it's too expensive. If it's $300, $200, when you get down to $15, it's too much. I find a lot of times that many supporters, so-called supporters of art, are looking for ways to not pay for art. So by that token, it's very difficult to rationalize putting a lot of money into a career based off of an audience that may not have financial buy-in. If they don't have financial buy-ins, then they're not true patrons. They're fans. And fans don't always want to pay for stuff. They want to watch stuff, but they don't want to pay for it. So, what is the solution? Well, a lot of people think, you have to tailor make and make your art for somebody and do this and do that. What you have to do is find those people that already like what you do and are willing to invest. And sometimes your audience comes from the least likely of places. You have to be ready to embrace the audience that's ready to embrace you. And the only physical show of support that an artist can give that does more than make the artist feel good is through a monetary commitment. Well, going back to the job, you may hate this job. You may not even, it might not even be a field that your background is from. But that job does one very important thing. It comes through. I can't tell you the number of times when, I had work that was being considered that the client, either a spouse or somebody, has talked their partner out of buying work from me, which, is completely understandable. It's your choice. It's as a couple or, as a partnership. But there's not a lot of consideration as to the ramifications of what that does to me as an artist. For you, it's, for that person, it's simply not a piece bought. It's just, hey, we'll pass on it. For me, my lights went off. Now, the one thing that is guaranteeing my lights be on and all I have to do is produce is a 9-to-5, a job. Because when I go to work, I get paid. And if I don't get paid after going to work, it's disputable. Whereas as an artist, if I don't get paid after doing the work, it's simply a part of the process. Now, I'm not saying don't be an artist. What I'm saying is put yourself in a better position to be an artist surrounded by people that like what you do. And you can tell people who truly like what you do, and I'm not talking about fans, I'm talking about patrons, because they're looking for ways to buy your work. Whether it's the person who's trying to pay $200. I recently had somebody tell me, look, my budget is only $200 or, $300. What can I do to own one of your pieces? Now, a client asking what they can do to acquire something from me, which, it's very difficult at this point to find a way to do work for $200 at this point in my career. I'm a 50-year-old artist that's been at it for 20 years. It's very difficult. But I also have to think, as far as growing new buyers, I look at it like, okay, well, what introductory piece can I make for this this new to art couple? What do you do? My thing is get all of it. Get all of the money if you can, but put it in the proper context as to what it is. If you're doing a $200 piece for a client, it will probably reflect that it is a small $200, $300 piece. There's nothing wrong with that, because once a client buys, and this is where they are starting to become a patron, once they buy and they like and they come back again, then they're now looking for ways to afford other things from you. And folks, that's called investing in you. When you're surrounded by an audience that says, oh, we love what you do, we love your work, but they don't buy anything, they're a fan. Fans don't pay your bills so that you can do the work that you want. Struggling patrons are looking for ways to indirectly pay your bills. So in that way, they're more valuable, because they can show a physical manifestation of the value they have for you. There's people that buy Prada bags and they figure out how to buy Prada. They figure out how to buy Dooney and Burke. A lot of times it's not because they don't have the money. It's because they haven't viewed you, the work that you do, as a luxury item of value to them. They speak volumes by what they won't spend. I would rather grow a patron that doesn't have much and coach them and cultivate, their interests so that they can find ways to afford more expensive pieces, and I can help them acquire the pieces that they're wanting. Those are the people that you have to look for. Now, the downside to all this is it still takes work. You're going to work while you're looking for these people. You're going to work while you're marketing to these people, and you're not going to get paid always. Versus the job where if you show up and do the same thing over and over and over, you will get paid. And sometimes you even get these incremental raises for doing the same job, for showing up to the same place. So I guess in the end, you have to ask yourself, are the perks of security more important to you than the perks of being more flexible in life with your career? Because a job has perks that a entrepreneurial career doesn't provide right offhand. And if you work and you get lucky, and it takes a degree of luck, then sometimes you can have the perks of both. Now, if this were easy to do, then everybody would be doing it. It's not. It's going to take work that you're not paid for. And it may never manifest. There's projects that I have that I scratch my head and I'm like, well, how come this didn't hit? And then you have a hot streak where it does hit, but that's all it is a hot streak. You've got to be able to recognize what's legitimately happening in your career so that you don't get ahead of yourself, or so that you don't underestimate yourself. So the perks of a job is evident. The perks of a career as a self-employed artist, it's a little more pie in the sky dream to a certain extent, unless you take certain steps that mean sacrifice, that mean doing those things that would normally get you paid, that effort that would normally get you paid on a job, understanding that it might not get you paid while you try to build a client base. So I would love to know what everyone thinks. Feel free to drop a like or subscribe to our small but growing channel and share what you think. Until the next time, take care.